Right. Hello, all. Thank you to everyone listening. This is the final installment of Partner Power series. This is our sixth and final recording we're doing with one of our closer partners to talk through the power of this integration, why we really value this relationship, and all the benefits that you can get out of it as an Airship customer or as a customer of our partner who perhaps hasn't come across Airship before. These have been really good fun, and I'm going to try my absolute best to do no bloopers this time because our marketing department keeps finding them and posting them online. So no F-ups this time. So today's recording is in partnership with Yumpingo, who I imagine most of our customers, most people watching have already heard of, already have a relationship with. Thank you so much for joining us on this, Darren.
An absolute pleasure, Sam, as always. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, me and you have crossed paths many times now over the years at joint pitches with joint customers or at networking events or just sector events in general or out at a venue. It's nice to be doing it with a friend. Part of this series is talking about the power in partnerships. I think maybe you're the Thelma to my Louise if I've got the idea of who these two people are, right? And I think a nice thing about this relationship as well, and a lot of the team at Yumpingo we've known for a long time. Obviously, both companies have worked there for a long time, but even me and you personally, in the last 18 months, we've both moved roles, but we're both stayed within the sector because it's what we're passionate about, it's what we love doing, and it's something really key. A really important undertone to this whole series is you should be picking your partners and your providers based on the relationships they have with the rest of your ecosystem, and that's not just do they integrate, but it's how close is the relationship between those two brands. Do they have a good working relationship? Are they prepared to investigate upgrading their integration, about doing bespoke development? And it's something that's definitely true here. We've got a great relationship with two companies, and we love exploring new ways to improve on that, which we'll touch on a little bit later on. Just to give you an idea of some of the companies who've worked together on, people like Yo, Bone Daddies, OHH, Hickories, of course, New World Trading Company, Piano Works, Yard and Coop, Caravan. So there's plenty of companies in there that we have as joint customers who we either do direct work on to try and get stuff out of the main platform or try and look to do some bespoke work to try and add value there. I think the best way to kick off is probably for you, Darren, just to introduce Yumpingo, kind of headline information for anyone that might not be aware or isn't fully aware of how the integration between our two platforms work.
Absolutely, Sam, and thank you again for the warm introduction. So I am Darren from Yumpingo. Yumpingo is it's about the voice of the guest, really, what they think, feel, and say about their whole experience. And of course, plugging that level of information into Airship really means we can, sort of help target messaging and sort of target specific types of guests based on, what they think and how frequent they visit as well. So a little bit more about Yumpingo. We provide real-time clarity on how happy guests are, and more importantly, understand why. And I think the big mantra for us at Yumpingo is pretty simple, really. It's about helping serve more happy guests. We're also obsessed with hospitality and food, and we also like pink as well, which you can probably see from the slide deck. For us, it's about delivering quick, reliable, and actionable guest insight at unique scale. So for every shift, every dish, every drink on the menu, and across every service style in real time. So it just means that the teams can focus on food and service, and delivering the best possible food and service every single day. So I guess what we've done is fundamentally change the way that restaurants and pubs use guest sentiment to make data-driven decisions through very prescriptive dish level and service level feedback. So if we think about sort of traditional methods of getting feedback, generally speaking, restaurants have been hearing from less than 5% of their customers. And quite often feedback is unstructured and lots of free type text, and sort of resulting in lengthy retrospective reports, which are pretty difficult to fathom out, and you've just no idea what the guests are thinking really half the time. So if you think about most of the guests walking through the door, they have a meal and they leave, and quite often you've no idea what they think. Are they happy? Are they unhappy? And more importantly, who are they going to tell about their experience? So from our point of view at Yumpingo, we fix that. So we have a 1 minute review process. We call it a 1 minute review because, well, it takes a minute to complete the review. Actually, it's actually 43 seconds on average, apparently. But what that does is it allows restaurants to hear from upwards of 70% of their guests that walk through the door. So, wow. and which is staggering, really, the kind of scale of this. And there's quite a number of different ways we can do that. The popular choice is the Yumpingo device, which is a branded digital check presenter in the venue, which is typically presented to the guest when they're paying the bill. Or it could be through an order and pay platform integration that we have, or a simple QR code where the guest can actually launch it on their own device. And quite frequently, we're also doing sort of post-dining emails with the likes of Airship, sort of targeting guests after the experience. So there's a multiple, different ways that we can get that into the hands of the guest. And I guess taking an example, hickories, we're capturing around 64,000 email opt-ins per year across 12 venues. So that hopefully demonstrates the scale of this. They're all completing the 1 minute review and they're opting in, for marketing. So from an Airship perspective, and you'll back me up on this, Sam, not only do we understand, who the guests are, when they've dined, what they think, are they a promoter, are they a detractor? You can really start to drill down, personalized communications based on how happy they are. So it really helps build that loyalty, and kind of, pushes those promoters, gets the loyalty through the promoters, but also trigger those win back campaigns for any detractors as well. And sort of taking the hickories as an example, yes, they're seeing more than 70% of their guests completing the reviews, but around 20% of those guests are opting in for marketing. So it's pretty staggering the amount of data that we're getting from it.
That's amazing. I mean, that is, there's many reasons to get involved with Yumpingo, but even just since that data collection and from kind of completing the wheel of all the available sources of data for your CRM, for your Airship account. I mean, if it's okay with you, Darren, I'll kind of touch upon how that data feeds across to Airship and kind of how that translates to help someone use their Airship account better. So I'm sure most people watching are existing Airship customers and we're familiar with the dashboard, but it's about completing as much of that ecosystem as possible that feeds into the central pot, which is your Airship account. So you might already be feeding in your Wi-Fi data or your table booking data or your gift card, maybe the toggle data coming in. It might be from your order and pay app feeding in, and getting this data from Yumpingo is, a really common missing part of the puzzle. Where, as Darren says, the opt-ins are great. Let's keep building that database and keep understanding who your customer is. And it's also a source of pop. So we know that customer's been there. So it adds that total visit frequency. So we can start to move them through the levels of loyalty. How often do they visit? Yumpingo are giving us that data as well. But if you now know not just who someone is, their age, their gender, the demographic information, how often they visit, what their preferences are, but also now you know how happy they are. Are they a detractor? Are they a promoter? You can start to speak to them differently. And again, it comes to our kind of customer journey that you can build within Airship. When you're taking someone through a welcome journey, through a triggered response, through a birthday journey, through their pop segments, if you know how happy they are with their experiences overall, their most recent visit, how recent that visit is, you can speak to them differently through these automatic journeys. And that's something that gives you a lot more power to win back unhappy customers, to continue speaking to happy customers in exactly the same manner. It's a great tool to have. If you want to learn more, of course, get in touch with either me or Darren. But of course, you can also go onto onto our, sorry, someone's just wandering into the room. You can go onto our online academy at any point and look through all of these articles. So you can look through the Airship connection to Yumpingo article, and on there you can see how to connect it, what data sources you get, what you can use it for, what trigger journeys you can set up. Also, we've got coming soon, quite excitingly, an integration into Toggle that's not been available before through our partnership with Yumpingo. So I won't share too many details, watch this space, but I'm sure Darren will be singing and dancing about that probably early next year, hopefully all going well, to talk about the new capabilities that we've got. And also we've got two closely aligned customer success teams. So both of the teams at Yumpingo and at Airship, again, are submerged in hospitality. They know the sector really well. Just reach out to either of them. Any questions, any problems, any thoughts about how you can utilise this yourselves, get in touch and I'll happily walk you through it. We're keeping these quite short, and I'm hoping that's given you some food for thought in terms of how you might be able to use these two platforms together. But also, we want to, we mean what we say, lean on us if you want us to use this for something quite different for you. If you've got an idea about how you could use the feedback data through Yumpingo and the insight these guys are capturing on such a massive level alongside the data you would have in Airship, we'd love to learn about that and talk about it more. Darren's details are below if you want to get in touch. Darren, thank you so much for joining us and being a good sport and getting involved in this. And I'm sure you're happy to chat to any Airship customers that want to learn more.